I called my company and I said, besides me programming and earning a salary, how else can I make money? They said, well, what you can do is you can sell projects, you can bring in consultants, somebody from your network, and place them on projects that we already have. So I started calling into my TCS network. I realized that I was able to convince people. I realized that I could sell. Okay, until then I had no idea whether I could convince anybody to pay any money for anything that I was talking about. It kind of transformed me as a person totally. So what happened in Williams was I eventually rose to the ranks of what we used to call MIS manager. So I ended up building systems and data warehouses when these were not words, these were not buzzwords. It ended up saving the company millions of dollars, how we utilize infrastructure. And I believe that with all this stuff that I have done, I deserve to be a vice president or a senior vice president, at that level in the company. So I went to my boss and I said, what do I have to do? And he said, Jay, this is a very nice presentation that you put together. But unfortunately, you don't have the right accent and you don't have the right skin color. So, and you are very young. And I was maybe 28, 29 at the time. It bit me somewhere when he told me that I didn't have the right skin color and I didn't have the right accent. So I sat for a couple of weeks and said, I can blame the environment, I can blame my boss, I can blame the company, I can blame many things. Or let me get to a position where I will have only myself to blame. And that's when I said, okay, I need to be my own boss, I need to be an entrepreneur. At that point, I left that job and I started on my own in 1994. So 1994, I started my first product company. I ran that till 1998. 99. I made some money out of it. When I had my kids, I realized how difficult parenting was. My parents had grown old by then. My dad had a brain hemorrhage and he was in that situation where he was bedridden. And I realized that I owe it to him now. I said, no, this is something I have to do, right? And I talked to Aarti, my wife, and I said, I cannot live in the US. I need to be back home now. So I basically pretty much one day got up, sold my house, sold my cars. I just put everything in a 20-foot container and I showed up in Nagpur. So after 99, I had started another product company. We were doing quite well. We became the most installed telecom gateway in the US. We had also raised venture funding for that company. Interestingly, our VC went bankrupt. So fortunately, all the funding that we got to keep. Okay. Right? We essentially ended up buying the shares of the VC firm for kind of pennies on the dollar. So we bought them out. The year 2000, 2001, that time frame, it was brutal on some companies. It was brutal on us too. What I did was I told my partners at the time, I said, guys, maybe it's time to think of an exit before things change in the telecom world. We were again able to exit very successfully from that company. We used to partner with a number of telecom billing companies. So one of these billing guys, they thought that there was tremendous value in what we were doing. So they acquired us. I was neither born in Nagpur nor was I brought up in Nagpur, so to speak. I had spent about 5 years of my life from 7th through 12th, right, in Nagpur. And that was the longest time I had spent in any city up to that point. So it always seemed like, this is where I belong. So the first two startups were product companies. Having done 2 product startups, I knew how difficult it was to build a product, to get your customers for the product, to support the product. So I said, let me try to do something that is relatively easier. As a product guy, I thought services were easy, right? So that's how we started Infospectrum in Nagpur. Very quickly I realized that while we had talented people in Nagpur, it requires many things besides being a good techie. I literally had to sit with each and every guy, explain to them how emails are written. When somebody sends you an email, you acknowledge that, hey, I've received your email, I'm working on something and this is the estimated time of completion, right? Guys used to think like, sir, email bhej diya, I've got it, so I'm working on it. I'm like, yeah, you are working on it is what you know. That guy who sent you the email doesn't know. So building, that basic discipline and that way of working took a long time to assemble a team of 100 people team. What drives me is when the lights go out and the voice comes from the dark that says, did you make a difference? I want to confidently be able to say, yes, I did, and no thanks to you, right? What gives me satisfaction today is close to 1,500 people have journeyed through Infospectrum over the years. I run into these guys at foreign airports, guys who have walked up to me and said, I was a part of Infospectrum, and it has shaped me in some way, shape or form. So that tells you that whatever initiative you took on, it did deliver. It did make a difference in some people's lives at least. 300 people in Infospectrum put me here. 50 guys from Concretio, the telecom gateway, put me here. 20 guys from my earlier first product startup, Software, they put me here. I feel that what has worked for me is the fact that I have always understood it is, people have made me.